Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about um, the state of anime vanguards and some of the things that I feel like they really should probably change, even though it's just me ranting about it, and my opinions are just my opinions. They don't have to be taken seriously. But I do think my experiences. I don't know. I feel like I've played this game a lot and I've seen the stuff that's happened, and I've seen some of the stuff the devs have been talking about, and I scratch my head because they'll say one thing, but I don't know what they're really doing to, like, I don't know, their actions and their words seem to be opposites sometimes, and I really wanted to just talk about it. Uh, One thing that I want to go into is just this macroing, right? This game is known for being the game that people macro. There have been so many like brands of mangoes that have been born, that have been adapted for this game. And the devs have expressed that they don't like the fact that people mango. And yeah, I think ultimately I nobody wants to mango. Nobody does. Like if you have to mango in a game, that's a big problem. Like cuz it just basically said it's saying that hey, you're going to be wasting a lot of your own time if you manually put in the work. Basically, that's what it is. So why not just leave it to, you know, some code? And the devs say they don't like it, right? The devs say that they don't like it, but then, but at at the point when they say it, people are already mangoing. Their pities for drop rates are absurd, and they don't promote. They just their unit pities, their drop pities, promote mangoing. I'm sorry, like it just does, and I think people know this. People do know this. People aren't stupid. They do know this. So yeah, like Yamamoto stage, it's a 200, like it's out of 200. The pity's 200 for a 0.75%. It should have never been 0.75 in the first place. And the unit pity was recently added too. Before then, he had no pity, and you could do a stage. You could probably do that stage for 300 to 500, even more time, and not even get him. You know how absurd that is. People just want Yamamoto. Just give them Yamamoto. Don't make it. Don't make like they should have made it a rare ass drop. Oh, and then if they're gonna say, "Yo, we do want to retain some players. We want players to come back to the," that is stupid. That's just gonna make people hate the game. And again, it's just gonna promote macroing. And even this new update, it's better. Trust me, it's better, but it's still not the best. It's still not the best. And why do I say that? It's because if you just do the first 3 active legend stage, it's a legend stage. Yeah, like oh my god, it's a legend stage. Like this game, not only does it take a while to complete the story, because there is no 3x, because the pacing is a little, in my opinion, it's a little slow. In this day and age, it's a little slow, right? Not only do you have to complete 6 acts, but you have to complete 3 to 4 legend stages. That takes a while. But then after you're done, you're not done, because even if you beat them once, you're gonna have to beat the legend stages multiple times to get the items to evolve a unit. The units of the update. And then the third one, you need to run the stage, legend stage act 3 75 times to hit the pity for Aaron. Now you can get lucky and you could get it before, but realistically you might have to run close to 75, if not 75 runs of Act 3. Of course, their way of mitigating this is by adding an EX stage, which is just insanely hard, right? For the average Joe who plays the game. But they make the pity a lot better. And the rates a lot better. What I feel like is that EX stage, it can exist, it probably shouldn't exist, and the rates for that should just be on the Act 3. So people don't have to grind as much. That's all I say. Like, that's all I think. So yeah, I do want to see this game succeed, and I think one thing that they do is improve pities by a lot. Make the game fairer, make the game seem more enjoyable to grind. I don't want to run through 50 stages and get freaking nothing, by the way. And by nothing, I'm sorry, you do get gems. I think you do get some gold and you get the material and when I say this, I mean Act 3. For Act 3 of the Legend stage. Because I'm pretty sure, if I go to here, Legend stage. So yeah, you get some gems, you get some food, and you get gold, and you get green essence, which you will most likely not get because you're probably gonna have this maxed out most of the time. But other than that, yeah, you're gonna have a grand old time farming 75 of the same stage, which, I mean, this took me, I only cleared it once, and it took me 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Dude, I mean, and I could have, like, I had good units. I could have placed it, like, closer to the enemy spawn, clearing them a little quicker. And by that, shortening the time, but come on, man. Come on. This amount of time, no. And this one, you just have to do 10 times. But it's insanely hard. It's almost impossible to solo by yourself unless you have Kaguya Monarch. So you have to play with other people, they say. Play with other people. No, it doesn't work, man. You can't just play with other people. Those other people have to have good units as well. And even if they have good units by this game standards, it will not be enough because you need Kaguya Monarch to make the game like feel like it's beatable. And that to me that sucks, man. Come on, that sucks. They can do better than that. But yeah, that's one thing. Come on, because realistically, nobody's gonna sit there for 75 minutes, and I don't want to like, oh, I'm gonna grind 5 of these stages today in this hour. Like, I don't want to make up a whole schedule and when I'm gonna come back. Like, it's gonna feel like a chore. It's gonna feel like a chore. It's going to feel like a chore, and that drains the fun out of anything. When the game becomes a chore, that's no longer fun. That's it. That's as simple as that. And maybe you guys have comments about this. Maybe you guys have something to say in defense of what they do. To be fair, they do this because mangoes exist, right? And if they start improving the games now, right? People could say, "Hey, yo, that just makes mangoes even more powerful." But I must say, but there must be a shift though. There has to be the change so that people will start to realize, hey, I don't need to macro anymore. So yeah, that's one thing. Those are my raw thoughts on the topic of mangoing and unit pity and how the culture, like the state of how this work is really, it's a really tough. They're in a really tough spot here. The devs are in a really tough spot. It's like if they start removing it now, mangoes in the short term will just be busted. Like, it just be insane because it takes less time to obtain something. So, and if you have something to automate it, it just becomes super efficient, super quick. People will be done with it in probably a day. Right, even with the new mechanics, and that's what I wanted to touch on in the next topic, which are the mechanics of the game, which I don't really like. But it's in a way, it's just my own opinion. because saying it sucks is so subjective. This is more of a subjective opinion on one of the mechanics of the game. But yeah, so yeah, that concludes the mangoing and the pity and the drop rates of this game. They've recently, in the last couple updates, they've added mechanics and to the game and designs to stages that, in my opinion, like, they only work if the thing you were grinding for didn't have such bad pities. Right? And what do I mean by this? I think I'll have so one of them would be, I guess, the Sid raid. The raids are, I think the idea, the concept is different. Is kind of cool, maybe. But my opinion of it has been negatively affected by the fact that Sid is he's a low chance to drop. Like 150 for the easier stage and 50 for the harder stage. And yeah, you have like that whole thing where you probably want to play with other players. You could solo it. It's definitely soloable, but you probably want to have like some really good units to solo it. That's also like, like I want more games to be less reliant on traits, and if you have traits, it makes your units all the more like better. But I mean, what is that statement really? And it's because of the how long you have to grind it for. Those mechanics feel annoying. Like, if I'm solo in a game, why am I getting handcuffed? Like, why do I have to rely on other people? Like, I don't want a game to force me to rely on other people. And then the fact that this game, right, so like there's a little bit of like an interchanging of problem where one problem leads to another, right? So you have this game mode which has low drop rates, which means you're gonna have to play it for a while, and nobody wants to sit. Nobody can really complete this in one sitting. So what do? You want a mango. You're gonna try to use a macro to help you ease the grind. But yeah. And now that I'm talking about this, Ben, by the way, I have to realize that I'm playing as like a player who just grinds the game a lot for fun. But I think there's a lot of casuals that this might not apply to. But I think they're affected either way because they can't do anything without other people, and that sucks. So yeah, one of the mechanics, like this game is trying to be different and all, and trying to introduce new mechanics to the game, so that one, it's harder to mango, right? And two, it kind of refreshes some of the game modes, because a lot of these game modes, they're just glorified versions of a story mode. So I think having it change, completely fine. Having different mechanics, completely fine. But then they run into the problem of like, nobody wants to do this 3 million times, and then it leads to the mango problem. So it's like a ever like, it just loops back onto its like on itself, of having a problem where you're just, damn, okay, like why do this? Like, why do I want to waste so much time for a unit that, dude, I grinded for Sid and I don't even use them. I simply don't use them because the stuff I want to do in this game, it's just like, it requires monarchs, and the monarchs I have are just not Sid. And when I try to roll on Sid, I don't get it instantly, so I'm just not going to use them now. So I don't know, man. It's like and you listen to the top players of the game, and they tell you there's realistically 2 to 3 units that you should be rolling on. One is Sung Jin-woo, the other one is Yuhaba, because of the way his passive works, his abilities work. Like, and then Kaguya, now that she's in, yeah, you probably want her because she's just DPS. And then there's like Gogeta, and because he's just raw damage demon. So why would I want to roll on Sid? That's one thing, is the stages, the mechanics of the stages that suck. And another part of the stages are the type of enemies, right? The type of enemies that you have. They just like, it's just pretty bad. Like I don't really like it. It's not great. They introduce stuff like energy drain, and it just makes me sad, man. It makes me sad. Because what was the point of me rolling on my favorite units for me to not be able to use them properly? Oh, just bring a cleanse unit. Yeah, but I don't want to have to cleanse my units for it to do nothing. It does nothing. Like it will bring them back for once, and then if they hit the same enemy again, boom, they're back to zero. So you have to sell and then replace and then upgrade and then cleanse again and then do it again and again and again and again. Oh, dude, then why don't you just roll on units that like are immune? Dude, if you have to do that and you don't, and a lot of people are casuals, they're not gonna have rerolls for everything. And this game had like a whole phase of just it, like these passives and terms were never clearly defined. So like you thought somebody would have, like, you know, I thought Aizen would be immune to like to debuffs, but no, he's only immune to status effects. Like there was that whole thing. Nothing, it wasn't major, you know, it's all right, like, but at the same time it sucks, man. My Monarch Aizen becomes obsolete in the face of like a random mob. I don't know. Like, what's the point of me grinding for it then? What's the point of me pouring, like, you know, my rerolls into a unit? Oh, you should have chosen better units to do it on. I don't think that's a good, like, that shouldn't be a good reason, or that shouldn't be a reason to do something. I want to use the units I find fun, I like from the anime I watch, from the stuff that I enjoy. And occasionally, yes, if there's a meta unit, of course, sure. That's completely valid. But I don't want to make whole units obsolete and only make one unit solete, if that's a term. You know, like viable. That sucks. Like, come on. I don't want to, like, that. I don't think that's kind of, like, I don't think that's great. So, yeah, like, energy drain sucks. And then they introduced the blinding one where your range goes to like fucking 0 the more you attack something. They had to nerf that, by the way, because they like people like your units would attack a bunch of mobs that have that effect, and so they would render like you couldn't even attack the bosses sometimes. So now they had to change it to where certain bosses will have it actually, so it's, you know, it's less frequent, but you know, they're on the units that matter. So, and that's okay. That's a step in the right direction, I must say. Step in the right direction. Energy drain still, they gotta fix that stage. And then I want my main, like I guess my main, like where this comes from is the fact when they released the legend stage for the Dragon Ball Z update. Man, that stage, like, that stage is annoying. The fact that you have energy drain, you're required to cut, like, to use bleed rupture, and the boss is like like the only ones that regenerate are the bosses, and the bosses have millions of HP, so the regen is absolutely insane. Like all of that together, all of those together, it doesn't make for a good stage. It just makes for a more annoying one. Mainly annoying for the fact that you had to grind that stage if you wanted like a low drop chance boo. And some familiars. Like that to me was not fun. Simply just wasn't. It was just kind of annoying. If I had to do it a couple times, yeah, sure. Like I think my opinion of it would have been very different. I'm like, yeah, not bad. I think it's different. I like that different. I like it that it's different. I like that I didn't have to do it so many times, but I know that it's a challenging stage. There's a difference between challenging and annoying. Like there could be a challenging stage that can be good, fun, but then there's the ones where if you do it long enough, it just becomes a chore and annoying. You see you guys start to see a theme here, just annoying. And the overarching theme is just like these devs don't respect your time. Like I'm and I want to be able to respect their time. I'm very thankful that they poured their hard work into this game. I want to see this game succeed, but then they just shooting themselves in the foot by not updating as frequently as other ones. But then when the update comes out, it's like they're not gonna attract enough attention because hey, it just simply it's one of many factors that contribute to just not a successful update. People are saying this game is dead. No, it's not. No, it's not. But it does seem to be in a decline, and that's where people. That's why I hear people just saying like, "Yo, we gotta think about this here. Make sure that everything's okay." I really hope the devs just think about like what they're gonna do next. They want to come up with new stuff. They want to come up with new stuff. Like they don't have to do that. They don't have to make it to where like it becomes just annoying. But yeah, like some of these mechanics, like I don't know, I don't think it should be. And that leads. I just realized that leads, and I can't believe I forgot. That leads into the spring update for mechanics, where there's the Land of the Gods portal should just be completely ignored. Because the modifiers in that make it impossible. Why do they do this? I don't understand why. What's the point of putting that into the map? It was just more wasted effort on the devs' part. Because tell me, why would you have a stage that's already hard in the base game that's like kind of, what is it, magnified in the portal, but then have other modifiers, let's just say regen, right? And the enemies now have elements. I heard Nag talk about this, and I even before Nag said anything about it, I had to agree because I ran into it. There were enemies in a portal for Land of the Gods in spring, tier 10 by the way, where you want to be doing tier 10s because that's where you get the most out of these portals, where the enemies were regenning, but they were cosmic enemies. So not only does Rupture not work on them, Bleed and Rupture don't work on them. They can't get CC'd by anything. Nothing affects them. You ask the devs about it. The devs are like, yeah, no, just delete the portal, bro. Choose the other. Well, no. That sucks. Nobody wants to do that. That's bad design. Whoever thought to do that, like, why are they still like there? Why are they still hired? My opinion's like that was a dumb move. I don't know why wasn't this checked? What were the testers doing? Sorry, I don't even mean to blame the testers. The testers probably found out about it, and then the devs just simply ignored it. That probably could have been the case. Because why did it come out on, like, why was that even released? And I'm not like, and when I say why was that on release, I'm thinking about the bugs that come out on release too. They spend so much time on each update, right? For it to come out with bugs. I'm telling you, this game comes like every update, it just comes out like unpolished, unrefined. So it only adds on top of like the negative like feedback from people on an update. Okay, I'm done talking. I've yapped on long enough. This video is way too long. I'm just gonna call here. If you have anything to say, please leave it in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. Tell me what you think, honestly. What do you guys think of this update? What do you guys think of the game overall? But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, have a great rest of your day.